गिरिवरदारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरदारी
जय गोपीजन गिरिवरधारी
यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन
यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन
यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन
यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन
यमुना तीरा वनचारी
यमुना तीर वनचारी
यमुना तीरा वनचारी
यमुना तीरा वनचारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
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 जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपीजन गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन
रंजन
यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन
रंजन
यमुना तीरा वनचारी
यमुना तीर वनचारी
यमुना तीरा वनचारी
यमुना तीर
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivacharya Sutara Shri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivacharya Sutara Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki. ISCON BBT Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki. Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki. Shri Mathura Dham Ki. Shri Mayapur Navadip Dham Ki. Shri Jagannath Puri Shri Kshetra Dham Ki. Ganga Mai Ki. Yamuna Mai Ki. Bhakti Devi Ki. Tulasi Maharani Ki. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki. Yuga Dharma Harinam Sankirtan Ki. Transcendental Brihadmadaga book distribution Ki. Transcendental Prasadam distribution Ki. Nitai Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Krishna Pada Krishna Vastava. Namo Vishnu Pada Krishna Vastava. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Shri Dev Gauravani Vrajani Visheshani Pasitadista. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nasa Praishu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naisiki. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 12, Text 19. Tapasa eva param jyotihi bhagavantam adoksajam sarvabhuta guha avasam anjasa vindate puman tapasaiva param jyotir tapasaiva param jyotir bhagavantam adoksajam Bhagavantam Adokshajam Sarvabhuta Guhavasam Sarvabhuta Guhavasam Anjasa Vindate Puman Anjasa Vindate Puman Tapasaiva Param Jyoti Bhagavantam Adokshajam Sarvabhuta Guhavasam Anjasa Vindate Puman. Someone can chant? Go on. One more. Tapasaiva Param Jyoti Bhagavantam Adokshajam Sarvabhuta Guhavasam Anjasa Vindate Puman. Keshava, you want to chant?
Tapasaiva param jyotir
Tapasaiva Param Jyoti
Bhagavantam adokshajam
Bhagavantam Adokshajam
Sarvabhuta guhavasam
Sarvabhuta Guhavasam
Savindate Kumar
Anjasa Vindate Puman. Tapasa, by penance, eva, only, param, the supreme, jyotihi, light, bhagavantam, onto the personality of Godhead, adokshajam, he who is beyond the approach of the senses, Sarvabhuta Guha Avasam, residing in the heart of all living entities. Anjasa, completely. Vindate, can know. Puman, a person. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. By penance only can one even approach the personality of Godhead, who is within the heart of every living entity and at the same time beyond the reach of all senses. Please repeat, by penance only can one even approach personality of Godhead, who is within the heart of every living entity and at the same time beyond the reach of all senses. Purport. No, I'm reading purport. All right. Maybe someone wants to read. Mataji, you want to read? No, with the microphone.
Rudra was advised by Brahma to perform penance as an example to his sons and followers that penance is necessary for attaining the favor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the common mass of people follow the path shown by an authority. Thus Brahma, disgusted with the Rudra generations and afraid of being devoured by the increase of population, asked Rudra to stop producing such an unwanted generation and take to penance for attaining the favor of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, we find in pictures that Rudra is always sitting in meditation for the attainment of the favor of the Lord. Indirectly, the sons and followers of Rudra are advised to stop the business of annihilation following the Rudra principle while the peaceful creation of Brahma is going on. Hare Krishna.
Okay, I think you're kind of old maybe. In mine, the last sentence I'll read. Indirectly, the sons and followers of Rudra are being advised that while the peaceful creation of Brahma is going on, they should stop following the Rudra principle and thus cease their business of annihilation. That's editing, slight difference. Om Ajnanatimrandasya Jana Jana Shalakaya Chakshur Anmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Mukam Garati Vachalam Pangum Langete Girim Yadkripatamam Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Paramananda Madam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaran Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahodato Budodaya Pushpanto Chitra Sandhu Tamonuto. So this verse, Tapasaiva Param Jyoti Bhagavantam Adakshajam Sarvabhuta Guhavasam Anjasavindate Puman. So there's two things. One, within the verse itself, you can see there's three aspects of the personality of God he has mentioned. Param Jyoti, and then Bhagavantam Adokshajam, and then Sarvabhuta Guhavasam. So there are three features of the Lord. Vadanti tat tattva vidam tattvam yakyanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagwaniti sabdati. Yeah. So there's three features that the learned transcendentalists have analyze and come to a conclusion that the Supreme Lord, although he is one, but he is at the same time these three features. He is in the Brahma Jyoti, Brahman everywhere, and then he is also Paramatma in the hearts of every living entity, in the atoms, outside the atom. It's within your heart, within the soul, it's everywhere. That's the Paramatma feature. And then he is Bhagavan, Sarvabhuta Guhavasam. That is residing in all the thing. And then he is Bhagavantam Adokshajam. He is the Lord who is in Goloka, Vaikuntha, as a person, just like you are existing, he's also existing. So to approach such a personality, it's not something you can say, I can make an appointment, even getting appointment in government is so difficult, right? You call and then they put you on hold, and then after a long time, then they'll say, right? It's not easy. So what to speak of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? It's not easy to do. So here, this chapter is about the creation of the Kumaras and others. So Brahma had created the Kumaras, and then he asked his the four Kumaras. They did not want to. They are very powerful yogis, so they control their bodily air and everything. And they're so powerful, it's mystical. This is some siddhi. So they use their potency not to grow. So they remain like 5-year-old boys, small kids like that. And then when Brahma said, because I created you so that you can bring more progeny, more living entities. Now the purpose of creation is to bring the living entities, give them a human form of body so that they can perform devotional practice. That's the purpose. Why? Because actually we all belong in spiritual world. Well, we decided to come for a holiday here, but then we don't know how to go back now, or we don't want to go back. So the Lord kindly sends Brahma and all exalted personalities, they empowers them, and then come and attract us. Sometimes he comes personally, sometimes he sends his pure devotees like Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta, and all those acharyas, they are all pure devotees, so that we can be attracted to awaken our true self, our true nature, what we are meant to do. So when Brahma told the Kumaras that, hey, you need to create, more progenies, that is my reason. So they are, perfectly situated in the Param Jyoti. And so they were not interested. They're like, why I have to do all this? I'm already, perfected my life. And this is what it is all about, to become peaceful and so on. So we're not going to do any more creation. We are not. So Brahma gets very angry. It's his son. So he gets so angry, and his anger, he creates another personality, and that is Lord Shiva, the Rudra. He comes out. And then he says to Brahma that I will do what you want to do, what you want me to do. And so he takes the role and he starts his creation. But because because Lord Shiva is a master of the mode of ignorance, he's not in ignorance, but he's the master. So his progenies are all coming out to be very, very dangerous personalities. Like very, what do you call, like Rakshasas and those categories, demoniac nature, because they are predominantly in ignorance. He's thinking, I'm doing great, but these people came to Brahma and then they wanted to attack him. And so Brahma was very afraid, and so he came to Lord Shiva, Rudra, and say, I'm happy you're producing, but I'm not happy the type of children you're bringing into this world. It's not favorable, So therefore he told him, the best way is you have to purify yourself. And you can see here, Brahma tells him, do some tapasya. So the same applies for all of us also. In wanting to achieve something good in our life, we have to do some austerity. Materially speaking also, you all did many austerities to get your position in material life. So what to speak of spiritual life. Now here, Brahma tells him to focus on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavantam Adokshajam. Meditate on the Supreme Lord. He is the person who can actually give you the blessings of the grace. And similarly, all of us have to also consider in any endeavor you take, sometimes people say, don't disturb the Lord, don't pray to Him. But it's nothing wrong to say, Lord, I'm endeavoring in this, you kindly bless me so that I do it properly. Not that I want every single thing, I want a glass of water, Lord, please, somehow bring the glass of water. Not like that. We are not talking like that. We are talking about in any endeavor you take in life, first you have to get the blessings of Vaishnavas and the Supreme Lord Himself. So that's important. Don't just blindly think you can do everything, right? Not that after that you can say, Lord, you did not do it properly, so I failed in it. Not like that. You ask their grace, and if it doesn't turn out the way you want, then you should say, maybe this is something I need to accept and understand. That is maturity. Purely turning around and blaming God for everything is immature understanding. Due to our past karma, whatever our situation is, the Lord in the heart, Upadrasta Mantascha Bharta Bhokta Maheshwara. So he can understand, he can see that we have what we require in this situation. He will provide those things. If you are not qualified, then you won't get what you are looking for. So we have to accept, I'm not qualified at this moment in my life, but I cannot blame the situation. Due to my previous activities, the Lord wants me to go through this situation. So you cannot blame anyone. Mostly we are going through our life is because the difficulties and the happiness is due to our past activities. But if you are a very good devotee and you have surrendered nicely, then the Lord takes care of whatever happiness or distress you have to go through. And so you understand, yes, I have to go through. You're no more thinking why I have to go through. You will think like that, but you have to understand there's no point thinking why I'm going through. Rather, you should accept that, yes, this is a challenge I have, and I should not be cursing or getting angry with anybody. Yeah, please keep your phone off. So this Brahma is telling Shiva to approach the Lord so that the Lord can bless him and he can do his service. This is all service. So similarly, if you take care of your family to be devotees, then whatever your endeavor is to provide for your family becomes service. But if your family members are asuras and whatever, then you are not really helping them. But if you still have asuras in the family and you serve them, give them prasadam, give them other things, then you're still doing service. You want them to connect to Krishna, so that's fine. So that is okay. Yeah. Yeah. So then yes. So that is an important point for you all to understand. And Srila Prabhupada writes, right, indirectly he says in the last line, the sons and followers of Rudra are being advised that while the peaceful creation of Brahma is going on, they should stop following the Rudra principle. What is the Rudra principle? It's the principle of destruction. Yeah. So now you can see in modern society, it's a lot more Rudra principle, a lot of unnecessary destruction, ecological problems, unnecessary destruction of forests, particularly in South America, Amazon. The leaders, they don't care actually. Although they know the Amazon forest is a very important resource of where it actually produces a lot of oxygen for the planet, still they are not worried. They don't care because they are thinking, as long as I'm living, I can make the money and enjoy. And if I die, because their principle is you only live once. So therefore, if I enjoy and die, it's okay. Yeah, these are the asura mentality. They think we are here in this world to enjoy, right? Whatever situation it is, I must enjoy. If I'm not enjoying, means I'm a fool. So they go all out to enjoy, and in wanting to enjoy, you are in my way. Shop. You are in my way. Bang. So that is the Rudra principle. Yeah, destroy whatever is in my way. Whereas the alternative view is a peaceful creation where everyone cooperates and works together for the benefit of each individual. Whereas Rudra principle is a benefit of the one person or a few people who are controlling the masses. So it is important for us to appreciate what Srila Prabhupada wants us to understand. The business of annihilation is a negative thing, and it's only that service is only important at the end of the creation. In the beginning, there is a problem. The creation to bring people to it, and then it's maintenance. And then at the end, when the universe cycle is complete, then there's a pralaya. That means there's some destruction to get rid of all the. There's no use putting resources to make it better. So sometimes also you try to help somebody. You help them one time, 2 times, 3 times. Maybe you help them for many years, but the person is still performing unnecessary activities or creating problems. Then you should realize that this is a futile endeavor or attempt. So don't in your own life also you have to be very aware of who is capable of doing and who's not capable. And then accordingly you can assign your own children and so on. You should know, my son is not capable, but my daughter may be more capable. So I will give her more of this. My son can just sit down there like a fool, like that. Or maybe the daughter is not capable, the son. This is very important, so you can help them grow accordingly. Of course, within the family unit also you may have unhappiness because you are paying more attention to that and you are paying less attention to me. So then that is why it is very important to make it clear to the child and say, you have this capacity and you're very good at this. So just, focus on that. But if you want to try something that you are not capable of doing, you can try this, you can give them some assignment and see for yourself. And then you will know what your capacity is. The understanding in the material world is that you can do anything if you put your mind into it. To some extent you can achieve certain things, but you cannot achieve everything. Yeah? Right? If all of you can have that mood and say, if I focus, I can become what? Huh? No, that's not material things. Huh? Yeah, but what? Huh? Okay, president, right? But there's only one position, no? So maybe in this life you can't. But my point is, let's say something common, you're making like a CEO of a company, if all of you think, yeah, if I focus and work hard, I can start my own company and become CEOs, go ahead and see. You find that you don't have the nature, you'll find some of you don't have that capacity, and some of you will find you don't even have the funds to start a startup also. And it's not easy. Huh? Yeah. You can't chant and hear at the same time. So you should stop chanting. Stop, take out your hand. Either you listen or you go out and chant. Yeah? Yeah. Because what are you listening? Huh? Yeah, so better you stop chanting. If you are sleepy mode, what chanting is that? Right? Yeah. You won't wake up, you'll sleep more. People who are sleepy and chant, they mostly sleep. So Lord Shiva therefore has taken that role of yes, whatever endeavor I want to do in life, I will first yes, thank you. Meditate, pray, approach Krishna. So we should do that also. And therefore, Prabhupada mentions in any picture you see of Rudra, he is always meditating. So who is he meditating on? He is meditating on Lord Krishna. He is actually meditating on Shankarshan, who's in the lower planetary, in Sutala, I think. And there's an incarnation of Lord there. So he meditates on them. And yeah, so by meditating on that, he gets the favor of the Lord. Favor of the Lord means auspiciousness, the blessings of the Lord. So you may approach the Lord and say, please guide me, please let me become successful or whatever. And then you go out and you may not always be successful. But because you understand the principles behind His mercy, you will not become disappointed. Yeah. You will not, because you know, okay, the Lord, He's my best well-wisher. He knows what's good for me. This may not be my area now. Or maybe He may want me to improve better, then maybe I'll achieve that. One should never in any situation turn around and say, the Lord doesn't know me. He doesn't understand my situation, We cannot say that, because ultimately in ignorance we will think like that. Yes, you will. We will. So we need to practice sufficiently that we understand that some situation I have no control. It may be due to my reactions from my past life that's coming, and I have to go through this. When we do that, we are able to communicate with people nicely, relate to them favorably, and help them also in the same way. Right? You can encourage people and say, look, I also have been through such situation, but I understand why sometimes certain things happen and sometimes certain things don't happen favorably. Yeah. So, but we cannot lose our sleep, our mind, or get really depressed. What good does depression do to my life? Right? How can it help me? How can it help another person? And if I'm married and I have a family, if I'm depressed, what favorable condition am I creating? Right? So it's very important that we deeply consider our actions, our activities, all, but it should be in line with how I have tried to please Lord. And if it doesn't go favorably, maybe now it doesn't go favorably, but the Lord has something wonderful for me in the future. That I will not be worried about. For example, tomorrow if the Lord comes to your home and say, come, let's go to Vaikuntha, what is your position? Will you say, no, I have to take care of things? Or will you say, I'm going? You can say now, but at that situation, what will you say? So therefore, we need to practice properly and prepare ourselves for that inevitable time that's going to come. We're going to die one day. So are we ready to die tomorrow or in a month's time, in 6 months, in a year, in 10 years? So we need to ask ourselves. If you feel frightened about dying, then you are not prepared. So then you practice. Yeah. Practice. And that is something that's going to come to all of us. But that's something you cannot impose on yourself, death. Yeah. You cannot go and shoot your brain out or whatever. So that's not. That you end up being a ghost. Guarantee. So if you want to be a ghost, go ahead and do that. But you cannot do other things like that. Yeah. Right. So that if we have a good authority, in this case, we see Brahma is acting as a good authority. So how do you know who's a good authority?
Somebody who directs you towards somebody who acts as your well-wisher, who directs you towards Krishna ultimately.
Ultimately, yeah. Who's always your well-wisher, who guides you properly, and you have experience with that person that they have always been your well-wisher. They have never done things to hurt you. 90% time they have done well, maybe 10% you may feel they hurt you. Which is more important? The 90%, yeah. But mostly people will hang on to the 10%. Which means we need to also address those weaknesses we have. But the point is, yeah, this is how you recognize. So similarly, Rudra can see that Brahma is his well-wisher, that he's his guide, both spiritually and materially, he's guiding him. And he can appreciate that, and therefore, yad achariti shresa, tat karma pravartana. So we should also understand that it is always beneficial for all of us to follow someone who is a good example. The authority must be good example. Nowadays, out in the society, we don't have any good example. They are all low-class people. Low-class people. Yeah, mostly low-class. So then who's your authority? Who's your guide? Who is your guide? Spiritual masters, spiritual authorities, devotee association. Come together, discuss issues, problems. You all have to have that kind of an association where you all can freely discuss and say, look, I have these problems. I'm struggling with it. What advice do you have? So you have this advice 1, 2, 3. You have advice 2, 4, 6, and then another guy. So then you can say, let me see which is suitable for me, like that. Yeah, right. Sometimes you cannot take the first advice and do it. It may be the best advice, but you are a conditioned person, so you may want to hear a few more things. Sometimes you only look for the one that you are looking for, and that is not taking advice. That is not taking advice. Yeah. So that's a difference. Taking advice and acting in the favor of Vaishnavas. So here, Brahma is one of the Param Vaishnava, and Lord Shiva is also a Param Vaishnava. but you can see the etiquette. So you can ask if you are you're a younger devotee, but you may be very intelligent, but then there's a senior devotee, you should always have the etiquette in that case. So then it will help you grow, because you are practicing humility. But if you think, oh, I'm better, I'm always better than that guy, let him talk, then you're not practicing humility. You're practicing nonsense, arrogance, false ego. And that's the Lord will not be pleased with you. Because who's your authority then? Who's the authority? Your mind. Material energy becomes your authority. We all need authorities. You cannot be a man, a single man is an island unto himself. We can't be like that. You won't be achieving, particularly in devotional life, you will not achieve much. It's not possible. It's impossible, actually. Particularly in this age, it's so difficult. Everything you do, there is some barriers, materially, or something is always wrong, or you cannot go. So you need help, and then devotees will say, don't worry, do it this way, or be peaceful, it's okay, it's just part of the system, and then you become calm. Right? Otherwise, there's so many, inputs coming from so many different sources. In this age, it's the worst. In the last 10 years, it's got even worse. Media, so much data coming. How are you going to process? Your brain cannot process so much data. So you get crazy. Because you're thinking, I have to do this. Someone says, oh, this is wonderful, do this. I have to do that. Then you see TikTok, everyone dancing, and you're like, I have to dance also. And all these foolish things are going on. So your life is a misery at the end. But if you have an authority, you don't have to worry about that. Right? You can say, so many people are saying, what are you saying? Right? So if you have a nice relationship among yourselves, devotee association, you can always approach and say, I'm in this bind. I'm in this situation. You kindly guide me. Tell me what to do. Right? Like Arjuna telling Krishna, Lord, I do not know what to do. Now you are Shishyaste Mam Sadi Mam Prabhati. So similarly, you have to have authority so you can surrender. And as soon as you surrender, Krishna takes care of you. But if you are always fighting, then Krishna says, go ahead and fight with my energies. Mama Maya Duratyaya. That's what we are all facing mostly. So you can see how wonderful the system is already there. We don't need to reinvent anything, but we only need to understand how it works. That system that Brahma and all demigods follow, it's also here. It's just that now everyone is too smart. So smart. So we have all kinds of issues. Like yesterday, Radha Damodar was asking the question about problems that he work, and at the same time someone says do some service. But it depends. If it's an emergency service, then you have to tell your boss, I have an emergency. Let's say your wife is stuck in the middle of a highway and she calls you, what would you do? Yeah, exactly, right? So similarly, if there's a water leak in the temple or a fire, what would you do? You have to tell, I have to go, the house is burning or the temple is burning. So time, place and circumstances, you have to act accordingly. So you cannot just use everything as an excuse and say, no, it's not in my schedule, But if you know ahead that the carpenter is coming, and then you schedule when you're free. Yeah. Or let's say you had schedule and then you have an emergency, then you call. Then you call Rasa Bihari. He'll say he'll do it. Yeah. Right? Okay. All right. So I pretty much touched on most of the things that I want to say here. So the most important, not most important, the thing that you have to do is tapasya, or nothing you can get free. So particularly with Krishna consciousness, austerity is important for all of us. Don't think life is, if you're doing things without any difficulty, you're not actually getting the full blessings, mercy. Some austerity must be there. Some difficulty must be there. After you've conquered all that, then things become very easy. Then you are experiencing ecstasy. So then it's okay. Krishna is taking care completely. But in the beginning, there will be some challenges. But the challenges are to see whether you're sincere or not. That's the main purpose of our challenge. Because if you are sincere, you will say, it's okay, the challenge. I will accept this challenge because I still want to please the devotees and the Lord. Okay? So that is one of the main things you all have to understand. And then the rest of the other things fall in place. Yeah? Okay, I'll stop here. Comments, questions, corrections, or just...
Hare Krishna. A question about, like, when you say Rudra principle is basically about destruction and all. So even Lord knows about that principle. Like nothing can happen without the action or like the idea about him. So why do you see that would have happened in the first place? Like even Brahma giving Rudra and Rudra making that action and then again coming back to correcting his action only based on the guidance from Brahma.
Yeah, you see, your question has some problems, I feel, because you're saying the Lord already knows and therefore he shouldn't. Then everyone will be a robot, You understand, Lord? And then how can you love a robot? Well, that's what they're doing. They're doing AI and then they're making robots so that they can have loving relationship. It's not going to happen. Yeah, you'll see. They'll be like there's a book called The Stepford's Wives, where this man found that his wife wasn't nice to him, and so he created a robot wife, and whatever he says, she will do. So what is a relationship like that? So similarly, the Lord just can't create robots. We have free will. And the free will is either devotion or aversion. Thank you. Yeah. So when Brahma when he generated Lord Shiva or Rudra, Rudra thought, yes, I can do, but he didn't understand how to do. Just like when you came to this temple, how do you know how to perform devotional activity? Huh? You came here because you wanted spiritual life, right? So you came, and then if nobody told you, you'll do your own thing, and then others will say, hey, stop this. You're creating a nonsense environment. The same thing. He thought he could do it, and then Brahma saw, oh no, he's not ready yet. So Brahma told him, you have to do penance. Why did Brahma ask him to do penance? Why?
To self-realize?
Yeah. But the other reason is Brahma himself had to do penance. Right? When Brahma was originally first created by the Lord, he was the only person. Just imagine you're the only person in the entire universe. How frightening that is. Yeah. So the Lord told him, you do penance, you meditate. And then he knew what to do, how to create properly. So when Rudra was created, he created out of anger. Yeah. So therefore, Lord Shiva is in that mode where he can create, but he was using mostly the material energy. In ignorance, those personalities were created, but they were meant to be created anyway. Yeah. So then then Brahma realized this is causing problems. These personalities are coming, cannot become too big a population, and then it'll create a big mess in the universe. So then he says, "Stop! It's enough of these personalities." And then then later on, when he did the tapasya, he was able to create nice progeny.
Another follow-up
Yeah, sure.
question. Like, so when Brahma also creates asuras, right?
Yeah.
So they are also created for certain purpose.
Yes.
So how does that, like, because he's creating everyone to create some balance.
Yes. Everything has a plan. All right. So just like we all have certain desires to fulfill. So the desires you have is suited in a certain type of body, and it's only suited in a certain yuga also. So originally in the creation, Lord Brahma created this set of personalities, and they do other personalities. Now, if you read all the Puranas and so on, there are statements that says that originally the asuras were also following very nicely the sastras and all, but at a certain point they went against, because they wanted equality with the demigods, right? And they couldn't get it, and so they said this is misuse. The dharma principles are misuse. So their interpretation is only for enjoyment. They came to that conclusion. I mean, I'm giving you a very summarized version, but yeah. And therefore, there are people who want to be like that, right? You find such people with that kind of mentality. So they will take birth in such Daityas, Danava family. And then there are people who like to eat human flesh, so they'll take birth as Rakshasas and so. Yeah. So every purpose is there. Everyone has a reason to take birth in a certain way. Yeah.
Another question, but totally different direction. You talked about like we came from higher consciousness to a lower consciousness because we wanted to come here.
Yes.
When we were at the higher consciousness state, we are beings with lower potency, so we would have we were under the affinity of a higher potency of Krishna or the higher being.
True.
So how did we actually fall down?
It's free will. Like you were a son to your mom and dad, no? Right? They have told you many things and you followed, no? And they have told you many things and you didn't follow, right? Yes or no? Right? Yeah, why? Even though you knew it wasn't good for you, why did you do that? Free will. Yeah. So the living entities, there's two different schools of thought. So one is like the jiva was created not with the Lord. The other one is they were created. But we follow what Prabhupada said. We were with Krishna and we rejected Krishna and came. Yeah.
But when you are, let's say you are continuously provided with a lot of information about Krishna, when you are in that place, in that space of the consciousness, there is nothing else that you can see, the Maya. So how do you actually get attracted to something which you're not even being exposed to?
Again, it's free will. You can think separate from Krishna anytime. Yeah. But now you know you will not do that. Yeah. That's the difference. Yeah. Like you have a son or a daughter and then you give them so many good facilities, but they become like asura, then how? You never give them asuric tendencies. Yeah. How? The nature is all there. It's how you want to bring it out. So the jiva has the ability to serve or not to serve.
Because it's very low potency, it is like it can just do whatever.
Yeah, even though it's minute, he has that independence. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. and he wants to enjoy separately, and the Lord is out of his kindness. Say, yeah, sure, you can enjoy, but at a cost. Yeah, so you suffer here in this material. Yeah, thank you. Are you doing traffic control or what? Oh, okay. Any other comments, questions? Yeah.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yeah.
Thank you for the wonderful class. And just by my first reading, I wouldn't get that idea that there is 3 aspects are mentioned here. Even in the translation, I was not getting that idea. So I was wondering, where is the Bhagavan part is mentioned in
Bhagavantam Adakshajam. That's the Bhagavan. And then Sarvabhuta Guhavasam is hiding. Guha. So that's the super soul. Yeah, okay. I'm not a Sanskriti. I just saw that, and reading Prabhupada's books in different places, you can understand that.
You.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Just I want to add a point, like Prabhupada mentioned in purport saying.
What is that sound? Feedback? Oh, something. Okay. Go on.
Yeah. So Prabhupada mentioned in some of the purports saying that human life means austerity.
Yes.
It is meant for austerity.
Yes.
So it is so important.
Huh?
It is so important.
It
right?
is. We don't want austerity. We want to be like Hiranyakashipu. We want to all lie down in soft golden bed. Yeah. But that's not the goal. Yeah.
Yeah. Another question is, and can you explain somewhere? I heard your source of income is not your maintenance.
Your source of income is not your maintenance?
Yes.
First time I'm hearing it.
Okay.
Then what it is?
No, it is what I understood by the statement, like whatever you destined to enjoy,
Yeah.
that much only the money you can. The rest all is useless, even though you earn more.
Your source of income is not your maintenance. Anyway, it doesn't gel with my intelligence.
Is there anywhere mentioned? Like I heard in the class only. That's the reason I'm asking. I didn't read complete Bhagavatam yet.
Okay.
So I'm just wondering, is there anywhere mentioned in lines to that line?
Not like that, I would say all your, whatever, like you mentioned, whatever you're getting according to your destiny, according to what you are meant to get only. That's all. Yeah.
But Prabhupada said that, right? Like whatever you are getting, you are just collateral. Like you are putting in return only. You are sacrificing something. In return, you are getting.
Yes.
So if I'm sacrifice more my
You'll get
spiritual
more.
life, I'll get more.
Not
Even
necessarily.
though I'm not destined to.
One in Karma Kanda, he can do more sacrifice to get more. It's possible. But that is not the goal. Your sacrifice should be for Vishnu, Adokshaja. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So that's how you should see, where is my sacrifice going? What is my sacrifice is aiming at, So a karma yogi, his sacrifice will be for his activities, fruitive activities. So he's looking for some fruitive material things. That's what the karma yogi is. A jnana yogi is trying to speculate on the transcendental topic, but not necessarily wanting to surrender also. Yeah, but a bhakti yogi is surrendering, or he's sacrificing everything to, he doesn't want anything. He wants to just please the Lord. Yeah. So that's the difference actually. Yeah. But we are all destined to get what we are, the happiness and distress, that you cannot change. Right. The way you change is when you take up devotional service, because the characteristic of devotional service is kleshagni. That means it'll burn away your papa so that you don't suffer so much. And then Shubhada, you will experience happiness in devotional activity. Yeah. So that's where you can see all these are not what we want, it's temporary. Like that. Okay.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay. No, they are all satisfied.
Hare Krishna. Another question, just a follow up to his question. Like, what is the best way use of money that you get? Like, how? Let's say you have $100. How do you best use that $100?
Rupa Goswami says that's the ideal is 50% you give. So if you have $100, you give 50% for the preaching purpose of Krishna, like that. Yeah. But obviously, people can't do that because of the way society is structured. You have like insurance, home insurance, car insurance, life insurance, and then security. Then you have boga to buy, apartment rental, mortgage, all that. Then you have something left. Based on that something, if you can still give 50%, you are doing well. But you have to see what you can give. Accordingly, you can surrender. That's what it is. Basically, it's a question of surrender. How much you want to give. We had one devotee who was working here to take care of family and so on. But every month he would give like 2,000 or 1,800 from his paycheck. But he may be earning God knows how much, but he was willing to give that much. Most people don't give like that. Most people will give $1 to Krishna, they keep $10. So for every $11 they will give 1 to Krishna and 10 to themselves. So you can see if you earn $150,000 a year, how much should you give to Krishna? 75,000. Are you willing to do that? Okay, take away all the mortgage, everything. So maybe you have, after all that, plus your savings and so on, you still get, maybe let's say you have 60,000 to save. How much would you give to Krishna on that 50? So can you give 50%? So if you can't, then you should know you're not really that great a person. Yeah. But if you can, then you shouldn't think you are great anyway. You should think I have to give. Yeah. Yeah. But that's what it is. Yeah. The best is 50%, but taking all the circumstances of life situation, you give the best you can. Yeah. And you should be happy that you're giving, and you should think, I wish I could give more. Then you are doing well. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you, Maharaj, for gracing us this week. Maharaj, I had one question from your class earlier this week. You mentioned how we should treat animals, other living beings. So I wanted to ask, how do we practically treat other beings? Like, do we give like squirrels, ants, spiders, mosquitoes? There's so many living beings, and when before I came to Krishna consciousness, the practice in my household is, like you said, you spray the bug spray. And then after that I stopped doing that. Okay. But how do we practically engage and treat these other living beings? Do we give them prasadam? Do we?
I think in Harinam Chintamani, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Haridas Thakur, although the Lord knows, he wants to glorify Haridas Thakur. So Haridas Thakur says, chanting loudly helps all the living entities. So the trees, the plants, the insects, the bugs, everything. They get benefit. Of course, if you have some leftover prasadam, you can, if you have a garden, you can, at the corner somewhere, you can throw, and whatever animals. But if you do too often, then the rats will come. And then the rats will come into your house. Yeah. Huh? And then the snake will come after the the rats, yeah, like that. But what I'm saying is, occasionally, so don't pack too much prasadam from the temple, and then you don't eat it, and then you have to throw it. Just take enough. Occasionally, dry food you can throw for birds and so on. The birds will eat, yeah, you can always do that, yeah. But you cannot. The best is chanting. You can go out in the garden and chant or what, but you cannot help each individual. You can, for example, you can chant to a butterfly, and then next moment the butterfly gets stuck in the spider web, and then the spider comes and eats the butterfly. And then you get angry with the spider, but spider is also living entity. Jiva jivasya. Jivanano, yeah.
Maharaj, well, I have one follow-up question. So how is it okay if like other people in the house do it? Like there's a spider, they go, take the spider's
Prabhupada
life.
once mentioned, for example, he said you can't kill them,
Yeah.
but if they attack you, you can kill them. Yeah. So like that. In your home, if there are others, if it's your home, you can tell them not to do it. And then, but if you're living with your parents and they're doing it, then you can just pray for the departed soul. Yeah.
Thank you, Maharaj.
You can't stop. So for example, let's say in the middle of night you're sleeping and the ants, red ants, fire ants come into your bed and start biting you. What are you going to do? You're going to kick them, bite them, hit them or take a bug spray and spray. So because they're attacking you, so you can do that, yeah. But not unnecessarily going out to kill them is wrong. Like that, yeah. Yeah.
Online questions?
Any others? No? Okay. Thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thai Gaur Premanandi.
His Holiness Radha Krishna Swami Maharaj ki
Prabhupada ki
Jai.
jai.